Now, the Executive Mayor of the City of Johannesburg, Geoffrey Makhubo, has joined the Johannesburg Metropolitan Police Department at a stop and verify roadblock aimed at checking the compliance of motorists with the regulations pronounced by President Cyril Ramaphosa under the national state of disaster. For more, we cross now live to our reporter, Thabiso Sithole. Thabiso, a very good morning to you. What's happening where you are?
Good morning, Desiree. Good morning to our SABC News Channel viewers. Well, it's been quite an eventful morning, if you can say that. Remember, just a couple of days ago, we saw the President of the Republic telling us that there's going to be an extension of the lockdown of South Africa. And the emphasis, Desiree, as we've been telling people at home and everyone, all broadcasts we do as well, stay at home. Only go out if you really have to in case of an emergency, in cases to go buy essentials such as food. Well, we joined a roadblock manned by the Johannesburg Metro Police Department as well as, double forces. There's also the South African Police Services at this particular roadblock in Diepsloot. This, of course, being in the corner of the R55 and R62. And since we've arrived here, Desiree, there's already been an arrest. We saw a vehicle approach this very roadblock, and just before the police officers stopped it, it did a U-turn about 500 or 400 meters away, and there was a chase that ensued. The cops went all the way down the road. They retrieved the driver and the vehicle, brought him all the way back to this particular roadblock, and he was arrested. And when he was asked, and we've been hearing his excuses in and out, why are you on the street? He said he was charging his battery, and the cops were saying, but charging a battery, what has that got to do with being on the street? So they are taking the lockdown seriously, are the police officers. The mayor of Johannesburg is not here as yet, but we're expecting him to be here. So I'm going to ask my colleague Thabo Madulula, maybe you can do a quick walkthrough and just maybe go and see how the police officers, as you can see there, how they're handling the situations as is. Basically, no car leaves this area without being stopped, without being verified on why they are particularly on the road. So let's try and join this conversation and see if maybe this driver is compliant with regards to the lockdown as well. But as you can see, traffic officers as well as law enforcement officers checking every single thing. As you can, in fact, let's put the mic in and see if it's fine.
We are doing a shopping. The infected person only has to put. That's why we are taking a precautionary measure. When we do a shopping, we used to wear it.
Yeah, you must wear it even if you are inside the car.
Sure, not an issue.
And the mommy at the back also.
Sorry?
Even mommy at the back must put on.
Thank you.
Sir, do you mind if you ask you a question?
Yes.
The question possibly I'm going to ask is, you're on the road. Obviously, as we heard, there is a current lockdown. Any particular reason why you're out here, sir?
Yeah, we have aged parents and a kid. So we are just trying to get some groceries which will be sufficient for the next couple of weeks because it got extended. So we have to mitigate it without going on a frequent basis. We can have it sufficient stock so that we can mitigate the risk going out.
Question, with regards to the lockdown in South Africa, with regards to seeing operations like this, what is your thought? What is your take so far on everything that's currently going on with COVID-19 in the country, sir?
I felt South Africa, at least we can see a lot of, it is controlled while compared to the other countries. I can see daily across the world what is happening. Some of them, they let it freely. Now some of them taking a measure which is out of their control. In such cases, I feel South Africa is handling it better. But if they start enabling the door-to-door, it may bring down the curve drastically down, and it will enable the things to start much more at the faster pace. That's what we are expecting.
So thank you very much. Let me let you go. As you can see there, Desiree, the traffic law enforcement agencies are out here in numbers. As I said, almost every single vehicle that comes past here is stopped and is checked, and people are asked why they're on the street. Let's try and join this particular conversation and see if there's any, in fact, though, it seems like this driver has complied and is through. Sir, do you mind if we have a chat with you, sir? Quick one. Next time. Okay, no worries. Thank you very much, sir. Well, as you can see, as I said, it's a multiple force or multiple service, roadblock here. There's South African National Police Services, or South African Police Services rather, as well as the Johannesburg Metro Police Department. We are waiting for the councillor, the mayor of Johannesburg, to join this roadblock. And until then, I'm going to hand matters back to you in studio. But as I said, almost every single vehicle is being stopped. There's already been an arrest that was done on the streets. One driver was not sure why he was on the road. In fact, he said he was going to charge They're not sure what they're charging, actually, and he was arrested. We saw him being whisked away by the South African Police Services, where he was put behind a van, as well as his vehicle driven off by a Johannesburg Metro Police Department officer, as well as a van accompanying him there. But for now, we'll hand matters back to you in studio. Hopefully, you'll come back to us. And the
Thabiso,
mayor of Johannesburg have joined us right here in the roadblock, and we have a chat with him on how
Thabiso,
they instructing and
you.
enforcing matters. Yes,
Thabiso, while we have you, I'm just wondering about the Metro Police themselves. How are they doing in terms of observing the spacing protocols, in terms of keeping a distance away from each other?
Well, Desiree, I think as you can see, every single police officer or Metro Police officer, as well as South Africa Police Services, all of them are wearing protective gear. They're all wearing their gloves. They're all wearing their masks as required. So it seems that they are doing quite the good job. And as far as social distancing, it does become a bit difficult, doesn't it, Desiree, if you're going to be speaking to people in a vehicle. I mean, take example what they're doing now. They've stopped a taxi. They're going to interrogate why he's on the road. He doesn't seem to have passengers. So it's a question of the mere protections that they have to observe. They've got the gloves on, they've got the face masks on. So it's a question of, basically how they're doing. Let's join in this conversation and listen in.
Not to be. Can I see your license?
Well, Desiree, as you can see, this driver has been asked to whip out his license. In fact, as we wait for him to pull out his license, I see the mayor of Johannesburg has just arrived. I'm going to ask Thabo if maybe we can leave this particular incident. If it needs be, we'll come back to it. Let's go and check up on the mayor. There he is right there. As you can see, officials are slowly arriving here at the scene and the location. It seems that, as we said, the lockdown is being pressed ahead. The 2 weeks extension to the lockdown, a lot of South Africans saying to themselves, geez, do we have to? Well, yes, we do have to. We've seen that the numbers have increased. We're now up to 2,003 infections in South Africa. So it's a question of people staying at home and making sure that, the numbers stay as minimal as possible. We've seen the United States over the evening have become the epicenter of the coronavirus infection. In fact, I'm going to ask the mayor if I can go straight through to him. Mayor Makhubo, thank you very much for joining us. We're actually live on SABC News Channel. Thank you for joining us right now. We've seen your JMPD, we've seen the Joint Forces, South African National Police Forces. Everyone is here. They are taking it seriously. Almost every single vehicle we've seen go past has been stopped. We're enforcing that lockdown. Stay at home if you don't have to come out.
Definitely. I mean, I'm told that they've arrested over 20 people. I don't know what people are disregarding and disobeying the regulations. But this enforcement is one of many that we are mounting throughout Johannesburg. This is Region A. We're ensuring that we enforce the lockdown, we enforce the regulations because, it's a carrot and stick situation.
Mayor, a lot of people are saying this is what they're expecting. Some people saying, well, we haven't seen a roadblock. Is it even real? And this is one of the reasons that we should actually see you and the people who are serving and protecting us out there. People only get deterred if they see that there is a reason why they shouldn't go. You've seen arrest. We were here when that arrest was made. The more you do, the more people stay at home.
No, definitely. We're sending a message that we've been appealing to our communities to stay at home. But of course, we have to enforce the law. The National Disaster Management Act and its regulations must be adhered to. If you don't, there are regulations that we're going to be fined, we're going to be arrested, and we're enforcing the law. And throughout Johannesburg, we have majority of cases of COVID-19 in Gauteng are in Johannesburg. So we are duty-bound to enforce the regulations.
That was a question I was just about to ask the mayor. Your take on that? It is tough. We're the epicenter, Johannesburg, anyway, that is, of the COVID-19 infections in the country. You're having sleepless nights, so to speak, trying to see how we can curb that at that level?
Definitely. I am worried about it. But we are preparing for, the peak. We don't think we've reached the peak yet, but we are trying to prevent us from getting there. In order to do that, we have to stay home, we have to self-quarantine, we have to self-isolate. Of course, there are difficult areas like informal settlements, there are difficult areas like deformalizing areas like Diepsloot down the road here, but we have to enforce the law. We've got no choice.
Speaking about those, Alexandra, we heard this morning, again, unconfirmed, we ourselves are not sure yet. We've been told that there has been an incident in Alex. Do you have received any notification of that? Somebody, possibly an SANDF member, firing at civilians. Have you heard anything of that?
No, I have not. I have not received a report. I'm receiving a report now in the afternoon about the happenings in the morning. As soon as I know, then I'll share the information.
Mayor, a final word to our viewers watching at home. You are out in your numbers. What should they expect from yourselves and the personal Johannesburg Metro Police Department and South African Police Services?
Well, they can expect intense enforcement of the regulations and the law. I'm appealing to residents of Johannesburg that COVID-19 is real. Let's curb the spread of coronavirus. Adhere to the regulations. It's in your interest. It's not only that we want to suppress you. We know it's Easter, we know it's Good Friday, but please work with us so that we stop this spread of this disease. You can see what is happening in Madrid, what is happening in New York, what is happening all over the northern countries, the European countries, America. People are dying in numbers. We want to prevent that in Johannesburg. We want to prevent that in Gauteng, in South Africa. We're really asking people to stay at home and to adhere to the regulations. If you don't, police are here, SABC is here, JMPD is here, SNDF is here. We are going to be arrested.
Thank you very much there, Councillor Geoffrey Makhubo, who's the Executive Mayor of Johannesburg, speaking to us. As we heard there, he says about 20 people have been arrested at roadblocks such as these in Johannesburg so far. We were privy to one. We did see one happen a couple of minutes before you came to us there, Desiree. So we'll stick around for a while and see if there are more roadblocks or what it turns over. But as you can hear the Mayor saying, please, people, if you do not have to be on the streets, do stay at home to try and curb that coronavirus infection, in particular in Johannesburg, as it is the epicenter of infections right here in South Africa. For now, I'm going to say, well, it's a wrap for myself and Thabo Madilula. We'll hand back to you in studio, and you'll hopefully come back to me a bit later on. Desiree?
Thanks a lot, Thabiso, for that up.